we're live.
Hi.
Hey. So what we were going to do here is, in compliments to like the reviews I posted, is like look at the comics that I've reviewed and like live react to them, and then like kind of sort of what we think of them in the end. Obviously, we can't show you like the whole comic here. I mean, unless we want to get absolutely cease and desisted by Marvel. So I'm going to read it to you, and you can follow along.
Oh boy.
So, and we're starting on the cover, which you can read at least. But
Yes.
yeah, it's not exactly hard to find the first Spider-Man story. Like even like legally, like I believe Comixology has it for like $2. This is from the facsimile edition, so we'll also be reacting to the interesting advertisements.
Oh no.
From 1963.
Yeah.
And this
I
is
loved going through the 90s.
August 1963 cover date, which means this came out in about May or June 1963. Yeah.
I love, because I've been loving the old ads we've been seeing, watching old football and hockey games on YouTube.
Yeah, but this is the 60s.
Well,
You're right,
get
I
away
guess.
with a lot more shit.
I'm just gonna sneak up here.
What you looking for here?
Oh, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so. Now the world may mock Peter Parker, the timid teenager. It will soon marvel at the awesome might of Spider-Man.
I need Skeletor's voice. Oh, the world may mock Peter Parker, the timid teenager.
No, I got it. Now the world may mock Peter Parker, the timid teenager. It will soon marvel at the awesome might of Spider-Man.
Needs to be junior.
Spoiler, that's not too far off from how he is most of the story.
Oh God! Am I going to be? I please. Oh God, no.
So our first advertisement is the Magic Art Reproducer.
Even if
It's
you
a
can't
tracing.
draw a straight line, you
Right.
can draw your family, your friends, anything for real life like an artist. Even if you can't draw a straight line, I gotta tell you, pals, I'm Vince with Magic Art Reproducer.
You get a free day 10 trial. Only $2 or $1.98 specifically. It's one of those lights that allows you to trace on the thin paper.
They sell tracing paper at Michael's now for like $5.
Well, sure. So it's actually a steal if you get your DeLorean ready.
We have to go back, Marty.
We're gonna see how much $1.98 in 1963 was.
Oh God, that reminds me of the $1.98 beauty show.
Also, if you're following along, like this is some great little good girl art up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like this is.
Yeah, gotta love the college students and their artistic exploits.
Oh, emphasis on the exploits.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. This was 63.
Do
Uh-huh.
that.
Okay, and this is $1.98. Oh my! That's $16.74. Jesus Christ!
My God. For a light bulb.
Yep.
All right.
Oh no.
Also, just again, you can't see it unfortunately, but I love Steve Ditko's little dancing Spider-Man up in the corner on this. You guessed. Spider-Man, light costume heroes. Confidentially, we in the comic mag business refer to them as long underwear characters. No, you don't. And as you know, they're a dime a dozen, but we think you may find our Spider-Man just a bit different.
Yeah, he's an incel.
Yeah. Don't spoilers.
And yes, I will be doing the Stan Lee voice, and you can't stop me. Say, gang, we need one more guy for the dance. How about Peter Parker over there?
Are you kidding? That bookworm wouldn't know a cha-cha from a waltz.
Peter Parker, he's Midtown High's only professional wallflower. Meanwhile, Peter stands forlornly in the distance.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Wow, the real Chad, Peter Parker.
As you may have gathered, Peter Parker was far from being the biggest man on campus, but his Uncle Ben thought he was pretty special, lad. You're not fooling me, Petey. I know you're awake and it's time for school.
Gosh, Uncle Ben, you're worse than a round full of alarm clocks.
I will give this comic credit. I mean, the idea of the teenager wasn't fully crystallized yet, but Jesus Christ, he's 16. You know? Oh. As for Pete's Aunt May, she thought the sun rose instead upon her nephew.
Uh-oh.
Does that anybody do an old woman voice? A crone?
A crone?
I cooked your... That's just Skeletor again.
I cooked your favorite breakfast, Petey. Wheat cakes.
Oh my god, that sounds too evil.
Don't
That's
pay him up too much, Peter. I can
Skeletor.
hardly out-wrestle him now. Also, wheat cakes would become a meme.
Yes.
Yes. The faculty at Midtown High were also fond of the clean-cut, hard-working honor student. I mean, he's literally got a flat top for those who have seen this stuff.
Yeah.
Good work, Parker, and you're sure to write the scholarship when you graduate.
I'll do my best, sir.
But alas, other teenagers can sometimes unwittingly be so very cruel to a shy young man.
Oh god, this is the incel panel.
Yep. At the start of
Honey,
it.
I was wondering if you're busy tonight.
Peter, for the umpteenth time, you're just not my type. Not when dreamboats like
Go on the
Flash
internet and write a huge rant about you and everyone will hate you forever, you slut!
Not when dreamboats like Flash Thompson are around. I admire your good
The
taste.
Chad!
Taste,
The
dog.
Wall Chad!
The Chad Flash Thompson versus the Virgin Peter Parker.
This literally is, though.
Considering that Flash Thompson becomes Venom, yes. Literally.
What?
Yes, Flash Thompson is the third Venom after Eddie Brock and Matt Gargan. He will recommend Venom.
Flash Thompson, you need to pull out, like, your most stereotypical New York.
I was trying to do Big Dan.
Get lost, bookworm.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. There you
I'm
go.
Moy, you good taste dog. Get lost, bookworm.
Make like a leaf and get out of here.
Yeah. Get out of
You don't
here.
take time to kind of your type around here.
Okay, it says Parker live.
Beta.
That's you.
Oh, look, there's a great new exhibit at the Science Hall tonight. Would any of you like to go with me?
Science hall. You stick to the science, son. We'll take the chicks.
Oh my god.
Yes, for some, being a teenager has many heartbreaking moments. See you around, bookworm. Give our regards to the Atom Smasher, Peter.
Someday I'll show them. Someday I'll be sorry. Sorry that they left it me.
I didn't set this up earlier.
Baby, sorry that they left me.
I understand.
I told you you've been sorry.
This isn't real. Well, you know this isn't real. It's really
It's-
hard convincing me
yes.
this is actually
Like, seriously, the fact that Peter Parker is not the world's greatest supervillain is a crime. Like, we don't even get a lot of villain Peter Parkers in alternate universes, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, like into the Spider-Verse. Like,
Right,
I mean, like looking at school shooters.
Fuck,
either
Peter
of
should
them
be the
here.
villain in the
like why
second
don't we, yeah,
Spider-Verse
we
movie.
need Billy Peter Parker versus Miles.
Right. Okay.
I told them they'd be sorry!
Teaming up with Doc Ock against Peter Parker.
God. Yeah, it turns out Doc Ock was right.
And a few minutes later, Peter Parker forgets the taunts of his classmates as he is transported to another world, the fascinating world of atomic science.
And now for a demonstration of how we can control radioactive rays here in the laboratory.
But as the experiment begins, no one notices a tiny spider descending from the ceiling and on an almost invisible strand of web.
Oh, so the Raimi Spider-Man got this completely right.
Oh, yeah. A spider whom fate has given a starring, if brief, role to play in the drama we call life. Accidentally absorbing a fantastic amount of radioactivity, the dying insect in sudden shock bites the nearest living thing at the split second before life ebbs from its radioactive body. Jesus Christ, Stan.
No!
She spends more time.
No! What's the idea? Now I'm getting bitten at the museum!
Go ahead.
That's a spider! It bit me! But why is it burning so? Why is it glowing that way? Where's my refund?
No one's gonna watch this, but I'm having fun anyway.
My head, it feels so strange. I think I need some air.
Looks as though our experiment unnerved young Parker. Too bad. He must have a weak stomach.
Shut up! What's happening to me? I feel different. Like my entire body is charged with some sort of fantastic energy. Perhaps I can use this thing as my revenge.
And someone far in the distance smashes Y.
Yes. Wrapped in his thoughts, Peter doesn't hear the auto, which narrowly misses him until the last instant. And then, unnoticed by the riders, he unthinkingly leaps to safety. But what a leap it is!
Doesn't hear the what?
That was one egghead who won't daydream anymore when he crosses the street. Well, you could say that again. Oh yeah, you could say that again.
It's an auto. The auto. Have you seen my automobile?
I've got to find you guys to give the Bob and Doug McKenzie voices to.
Yes.
I don't know what's come over me. I'm scaling this wall just as easily as I can walk.
It's really funny. I mean, like, oh, so Ness shows up. Actually, no, this is Linus.
Mommy, look at the man walking up the side of a building.
Well, that's the last horror movie I take you to, young man.
He literally looks like Linus.
I know. He probably was based on Linus.
It's incredible. I reached the roof in just a few seconds.
I'm in danger.
What's this?
I got this steel pipe is over paper. It's the spider. It has to be somehow, in some miraculous way. His mind has transferred his own power to me. I can walk down this cable as effortlessly as the spider itself can glide along its web. I've got time to think. I've got to plan what to do with this unbelievable ability which fate has given me. The child will see his day of reckoning.
A few minutes later. Oh, excuse me, wrong voice. A few minutes later.
This will be a good chance to test my power again.
$100 to the man who could stay in the ring 10 minutes with Crusher Hogan.
Hogan. Oh, I think you know what this means this time for.
What is it? What is the time for? What is it?
No, fucking ads. Motherfucking ads. Well, I mean, it's wrestling, isn't it?
Yes. I can bring that up over here on Spotify. Literally, Hulk Hogan took his ring name from Culture Hogan here and the Incredible Hulk.
Of course.
Alright. Filled with excitement, Peter races back home and...
I have put on some old clothes and leave my glasses here. But what if I fail? I don't want to be a laughing stock. I'll find some way to disguise myself.
As he puts on a giant sweater.
Oh wait, that's probably a bad idea.
He puts on a giant sweater and wraps his head in like some fishnet stockings, just so we're clear here for those who...
I'll try for $100.
Well, if it ain't a little masked mortal, step up, sucker, brother. Now just relax, Shorty. I'll try to make this as painless as possible.
Oh, what?
Incoming finger poke of doom.
Oh, he's out of context.
Oh my god, he's jumped completely over. Back down! What's he done?
Back
Back down! He's thrown right out into the stands!
Hey,
That
brother.
man has a family!
It works! I have the speed, the agility, the very strength of a gigantic spider!
Hey.
Sure, okay, moving on. Put me down! You win! You win!
There's taps! Referee's going for the bell!
You're not human! Nobody can do that!
Wanna bet?
Seriously, sounds like a goddamn supervillain. Greatest act I've ever seen! Sensational! Fantastic! And the mask gimmick gives him just the right touch of mystery. He was terrific!
That masked character may be just what I've been looking for.
It's really weird.
You know, I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
What's weird?
That people who go to like underground professional wrestling matches look like they came off of Madison Avenue.
Right? These guys could all these guys here could easily be tokens in early versions of Monopoly.
This next line is so. I gotta take some art. This is the next line 'cause it's so unrealistic. Hey, buddy, I'm a TV producer, you know? That act of yours can make you a fortune, eh? I keep the mask angle, eh? It's great showmanship. The audience is gonna love it. Here's my card. Call me. You be a smash in the Ed Sullivan show, eh?
Don't say A, this is New York. You're too Canadian for this.
Thank you!
This is just Donald Trump.
Showmanship, yes!
Later at home again.
Anything yet? Since I have the powers of a spider, I'll design myself a spider costume! Hi, Aunt May! I said the quiet part loud part quiet, didn't I?
I'm tired, Petey, so we brought you some crackers and milk.
Okay, excuse me, what? Are they aliens?
How did they not notice that?
Like, I hope those are graham crackers, like, goddamn Ritz and milk.
Crackers and milk, bless them, if only they knew. Now let's see, a spider needs a web. This little device should do just the trick.
Is that a retrofitted perfume dispenser?
It is.
Quiet!
Arrogance. By Martel.
Would he have acquired that from the same place he acquired the fishnet stocking?
Shut up!
I reiterate.
A magician does not reveal his secrets!
Alex Coleman here. There actually is a comic where the conceit is, what if Spider-Man became or Peter Parker became the Punisher?
What?
It's a what if, yeah.
I am the Punisher! I will
Stop that.
punish you all!
We're just moving on.
Show me your tits!
Oh my god.
Sluts!
Stop this right now.
Oh,
I will never stop!
You're up.
I will never let up!
You're
Show
up.
yourself, coward!
You're up.
I am fastened one to each arm. It will operate at the slightest pressure of any finger. I'll need a name. Well, I guess Spider-Man is as good as any. That looks pretty good if I do say so myself.
What about this costume says spider? Red and blue.
The spider on the
You're
front.
not supposed to.
The underarm wings made to look like cobwebs.
It's the spider on the front.
Yeah, it's like. Well, this is the blatant.
At least my catchphrase isn't spoon.
This is the blatantly obvious. Well, you know, over at DC, Superman has red and blue, so I think you should color him red and blue, Jack. Right?
Oh
No,
boy.
shut up! This is a completely original idea, my own.
Original character, do not steal.
I'm just jealous that you're not a spider.
Ask Wiz Comics how well that held up in court. Toss it. Ooh. Oh.
So they lasted me for being a bookworm, eh? Only a science major. And I'm created the device.
Jesus fucking Christ. How is he a hero?
With some strong liquid cement at the end.
I can pull myself up anywhere with my little web, and my costume is thin enough to wear unseen under my street clothes. I'll have to wear a lot of deodorant under it, but who cares? No one wants to have sex with me anyway.
Okay, the voice doesn't work anymore.
What?
It doesn't work anymore because now he's Spider-Man, not Peter Parker.
No, you only make the voice bigger.
Okay, world, better hung the name on your hat, bro. Here
Here
comes
comes
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Okay.
Oh no.
Then we get our first ad break. The amazing new home training
Hi, I'm
plan
Vince for
and
the
air
amazing-
conditioning and refrigeration.
Hi, I'm Vince here at the here for the CTI Learn and Practice method, which enables as many students to earn money in their spare time as the H train for top page or their own business. That's right, you kids could be making $100,000 a year.
By being an entrepreneur. Wait, was that a thing in the 60s? Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Oh boy, was it ever. I noticed the lack of price on here.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. The booklets are free.
So you just send. Okay, so you just send that.
With plus postage and
You get three pamphlets.
Yep.
Success at air conditioning and refrigeration lesson samples improved from graduates. Yes, because little Billy, what are you reading at 3 a.m.? No, nothing, Mom. Ducks success in air conditioning and refrigeration under his pillow.
right. All right. Give me a sec here. Now anybody with the intelligence of a 7-year-old knows that if a man appeared on TV who seemed to be more spider than human, he'd be an overnight sensation. I should have read that in the... Excuse. Let me read this. Now anybody with the intelligence of a 7-year-old knows that if a man appeared on TV who seemed to be more spider than human, he'd be an overnight sensation. Nick Lebowski. Especially when his feats were performed without the help of trick photography. Well, you can just imagine how the public reacted to Spider-Man.
I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I still don't believe it.
Sure, they look amazed, incredible, awe-stricken, wouldn't you?
Oh. I've seen the Raimi movies.
After all, when was the last time you saw a man with his own fantastic spider web?
No comment. Okay, Spider-Man, cut. That's enough. Don't show him too much. Leave him begging for more.
As his first TV spectacular ends, Peter Parker breathes the first sweet scent of fame and success.
I am from Life. We'll pay any price for a picture spread. Sign with me. I'll be in the movies. Wait, we want an interview.
See my agent, boys. I'm busy.
Rid of him at last. Hey, what's going on?
Stop! Thief! Stop him! If he makes it to the elevator, he'll get away!
Made it.
I'm safe now. That cop can never get down to the lobby as fast as I can in this high-speed express elevator. Lucky that goon in the costume didn't stop me.
Thanks for explaining every little detail, Stan. That's a theme in Gnarly Marvel.
What's with you, mister? All you had to do was trip him or hold him just for a minute.
Sorry, pal. That's your job. I'm through being pushed around by anyone. Now, from now on, I just look out for number one. That means me.
Oh, no. I gotta run you in.
Save your breath, buddy. I've got things to do.
And a few hours later...
Peter, you know that microscope you've always wanted? Your uncle and I bought it for you this afternoon.
Gosh, that's terrific.
Gosh, that's terrific. You're the greatest family any fellow ever had.
They're the only ones who have ever been kind to me. I'll see to it that they're always happy, but the rest of the world can go fuck off for all I care.
He doesn't actually say fuck off.
I'm sure they realized that.
Let's go hang, but yes, it sounds way better that way.
In the days that follow, the Spider-Man becomes the sensation of the nation. Spider-Man slated for new TV series. Spider-Man wins Showbiz Award. Spider-Man plays to the packed house. Who is the Spider-Man? A bunch of newspapers. Again, you should probably be following along somewhere. But And one evening, as Peter Parker returns home from a personal appearance...
A police car in front of our house? What can be wrong?
Oh no, oh no, has someone found out?
Bad news, son. Your uncle has been shot. Murdered! The way that...
Wait Uncle Ben, dead? No, he can't be.
Who did it? Who shot him?
It was a burglar. Your uncle surprised him. But don't worry, lad. We've got him trapped. He's in the old Acme warehouse at the waterfront. We'll get him.
Oh, shit.
Yes, that's totally
Now
what
I
you
must
told me.
have my revenge! My alarm clock! How dare you take away my alarm clock! I've got to do! I've got to get him!
Your aunt is next door. The neighbors are looking after her. Wait!
I know the old Acme warehouse. It's been deserted for years. I cannot get hold of an army in that gloomy old place. But he won't hold off Spider-Man!
The warehouse at the other
Side of town. But I'll be there in no time.
He's
Meanwhile...
there somewhere, but he'll pick us off like flies if we charge him.
All I had to do... Oh, wait, you go ahead.
All I gotta do is hold him off till the moon goes down. Then I ought to be able to slip away in the dark.
You'll never escape again, murderer!
Huh? What the?
Surprise to see me?
That works too well.
Not half as surprised as you're getting to me!
Gotta get away. I must be seeing things.
Gotta get away from here. Gotta
I got
get
him.
away from here.
You must be seeing things. Two Spider-Men.
There's no place on earth where you can hide from me! First, my web will relieve you of your gun, and then my fist will do the rest! Oh no, that's that face! It can't be! That's the fugitive who ran past me! Who I didn't stop when I had the chance!
As his eyes somehow bug out from the costume. In the weirdest panel Ditko drew here. I hate to do it, but we'll have to rush him now. Can't take a chance of him slipping by in the dark. Captain, look! It's him! On a spider's web!
It's my fault. It's all my fault. If only I had stopped him when I could have, but I didn't. And now...
Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben is dead.
And a lean, silent figure slowly fades into the gathering darkness, aware at last that in this world, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. Yay!
And so a legend.
It's the meme. I understood that reference. And so a legend is born, and a new name is added to the roster of those who make the world of fantasy the most exciting realm of all. Be sure to see the next issue of Amazing Fantasy for the further amazing exploits of America's most different new teenage idol, Spider-Man! This is the final issue of Amazing Fantasy.
I'm going to say that if you remove Spider-Man from the end of that sentence, it has a very different context.
Yes! Oh, God. I mean,
Oh boy.
this is still an improvement because they had recently changed the name of the magazine from Amazing Adult Fantasy.
Oh.
Which, at 60, she was so much more innocent.
Oh.
Anyways, the name of my softcore porn series. Oh, God. So the next advertisement is Dynaflex.
Hi, it's Billy Mays here with my secret new diet.
No, it's Mike Marvel.
Mike Marvel, oh my
I thought
god.
that said Manuel.
Are you reading all these tired black pep? Are you ashamed of your body now?
Boys! Men!
Let me tell you how Dynaflex builds beautiful bodies.
Oh,
And how
God.
strong man's sex appeal attracts girls.
Good.
In his tiger
No, it
print,
doesn't. Not any of these girls.
in his tiger print Speedo.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Real Tiger King energy here.
Are you ashamed of your body? You
Yes.
should be.
You should be, motherfucker.
God.
Oh, God, yes. What's the character's name from Doom Patrol? Definitely a parody of all these guys.
Yeah. Free secrets of attracting girls.
We can't even give away the pickup artist book.
Almost as if the intended, the way that Peter Parker acts is based on the intended audience of the comic.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Amazing Fantasy was an anthology. So real quick, we're going to go through the other stories. It starts with a Steve Ditko story, The Bell Ringer! This is the way this little tale was told to us. You may believe, or you may not, but of one thing we are certain, you will never forget!
I don't know if I can do any voices for this one.
I got it as on this. Nestled in the blue Mediterranean lies a small volcanic isle inhabited only by a small community of stalwart fishermen.
The Greeks.
But there is one islander who is not a fisherman. He is old Pedros, the village bell ringer. And can anybody do a Spanish accent?
No.
I don't think of a
do one.
Spanish accent here. I just think of I
I'm
calculate. It's time for the bells. I don't think you can't keep it with it.
I got this. I must not be late. It is time for my bells. That was maybe a little more Mexican, but every morning for years for more years than one can count, old Pedros has walked to the ancient church and rung the mellow bells. Old Pedros has rung the bell for all of his adult life, every morning of every week of every month of every year.
Ring that bell.
just as his father did before him, and his father's father, for as long as the church isn't dead!
Oh my god.
Dong.
Yeah, I already saw it. The bells have guided fishermen, sounded alarms, told the days. They are as much a part of the little village as the very soil upon which men trod. Like, every sentence here is an exclamation point, by the way, so this is actually in keeping with the way it's written.
Yeah. I hear the bell through the fog. The shore is just ahead.
And old Pedros, too, is part of the village, just as the village is part of him!
Oh yeah, good day to you too, madam.
And to you, Pedros. But then, one day, one fateful day, a change occurs, a terrifying change, as a thin cloud of smoke begins to trickle upward from the long-dead volcano. The volcano! It is coming to life! Alright, somebody else want to try reading that one?
The volcano! It's coming to life!
Pray that it is just an illusion, for if the angry mountain should erupt, it means the end of our land, our homes.
What is Greece?
That's the funkiest looking volcano I've ever seen
know.
in my life. It looks like a cut off pterodactyl foot.
What does a volcano look like again? Steve, aren't you going to go down to the library to look at volcanoes? I got this. But it is no illusion! Jesus fucking Christ, Dan!
There is no other choice. We must all flee the island while we still can. Arrgh.
With heavy hearts, the villagers gather their meager possessions.
I already know where this story is going. This is indeed a sad day for us. Be grateful, woman. At least we shall escape with our lives.
Unlike my dick, which hasn't been touched.
I wish I wasn't escaping with you. That's how the cis-heads talk, right?
Yes!
We are fortunate in that we had enough time to flee. Oh yeah, we should find new homes on the mainland, yeah.
But in all the village, there is one who will not leave.
Pedros, you dare not remain?
I must. Without me, who will ring the bells?
Not me who ring the bells!
It does not matter. Pedros, with the village deserted, none will hear the bells.
He's stoned out of his fucking mind in this panel.
He just saw God.
I cannot leave. The bells must be wrong. Someone to hear.
Poor soul, he must be mad.
Oh boy, is he ever.
Yeah.
And so the boats sail away, leaving the island to the mercy of the roaring volcano, the angry mountain whose fiery upheaval grows louder and louder. But though the lava flows closer and closer to the little church, old Pedros remains at his job ringing his beloved bells.
Bong, 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 bong.
Rolling, 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 rolling.
I must ring the bells. Someone will hear. For centuries, someone has always heard.
And then, just as the lava is about to envelop the ancient tower, a blaze of light pours down upon Pedros. A golden shaft! Sorry.
Oh God.
A golden shaft which seems to beckon the
Phrasing. Phrasing.
Yes.
Apollo has found his new love and desire.
Perhaps it was their imagination, but those who sailed away swear to this day that they saw an ancient figure rising up on the shaft of light, rising up and up until he faded from sight. But we prefer to think it was not their imagination. Yes, we do not. We believe instead the old Pedros was right. Someone heard.
Phrasing.
Chuck Tingle. I would like to submit a proposal.
Looks like Pedro's run Apollo
Hey,
spells.
phrasing.
Oh, God. That's what Pedro said.
Phrasing.
Alright. Oh, God, you're right.
No!
So the next ad is for a giant 10-foot inflatable boa constrictor.
Things I didn't know I needed, but now I desperately want.
And you can also save hundreds of dollars on this new magic way.
You put in money and it gives you more.
It's one of those damn money drawer things.
Yep. Amazing Chesto Bank.
Mm-hmm. The Chesto Bank. And now our final story. Wait, no, I think there might be one more. I can't remember.
Oh my god.
The Man in the Mummy Case. A mummy case might seem to be a good place as any to hide in, but as our readers know, things are not always what they seem. Again, this is a Steve Ditko story with the dialogue by Stan Lee, which, and just the way it usually went is Stan might come up with the idea along with one of the artists. They pencil it all out, and he fills in the dialogue and makes them want to die because he has to explain every little detail. Like, there are very few artists who didn't, like, absolutely lose it when they saw the copy after Stan got all over it. I mean, Ditko, like, straight up quit after what he did with If This Be My Destiny, another Spider-Man story.
That famous Stan Lee mantra, tell, don't show.
Right!
A criminal spends half his life fleeing. Rocco Rank?
Yes! Rocco Rank is the name of the protagonist of this story. A criminal spends half his life fleeing for justice. And Rocco Rank is no exception.
Gotta get away, I
Gotta go fast. Good thing I'm skinny. This window's open just wide enough.
We get a nice ass shot of his perfect hands.
Nice ass.
He ran on past, but he'll soon be back as soon as he sees the street's empty. Gotta find a spot to hide. Oh no. Holy cow! Looks like I broke into the back of some blamed museum. I'll stand out like a sore thumb in here.
No.
No.
You will be safe. I've read this story, so that's why I got in his voice, because...
Who said that? Oh no! It ain't possible!
Fear not, mortal. I shall hide you.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
I shall hide you where your pursuers will never find you.
Oh. You're a mummy. You can't talk, can't walk. You're... Damn it, I can't swallow for some reason. Those footsteps. The cops will be back soon. I got no choice.
Come, mortal. Follow me. His hand really does this, by the way. It's fucking creepy. He's about to give him the shocker.
Shocker's gonna shock you.
Oh, God.
Here within this mummy case you will find safety.
A mummy case with bear arms.
Right.
Oh, no you don't. I've seen movies about this kind of thing. You ain't making a mummy out of me.
Fuck off. Yes, they finally made a mummy. Actually, no. It's better. You will not become a mummy, I swear it.
But what if you don't let me out? How will I breathe?
Fear not, there is air within, and I shall open the case as soon as your pursuers have left.
All right, I'll do it. I love how his facial structure changes multiple times throughout this.
Oh yeah, no consistency. Granted, like, these were fucking penned in a day because of the distribution models of the time, but still.
Oh Jesus.
Like, I also, the mummy should have straight up said, like, it's not like you have any other choice.
You might run in there, Joe. Let's check. The place looks deserted. Wait a minute, a guy could hide in that mummy case. We better look inside. Can't take any chances.
Meanwhile, the mummy just sits here pretending like he's asleep. Like, what? They're not checking the mummy who's just chilling against the wall.
Yeah, that's somehow like.
No, it's
on
empty.
own.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he must be in the neighborhood somewhere. Let's check outside again.
And this our mummy here can barely fucking contain his laughter. Slam! I have kept my promise. I vowed your pursuers would not find you, and truly, you have eluded them. Prepare for your Tales from the Crypt ending, people. Also, I vowed to open the mummy case as soon as it was safe, and this I do now, as it's completely empty still. Indeed, mortal, you will be safe from your pursuers. Forever!
I fucking saw that coming a mile away. But somewhere, Rocco Rank does not seem pleased at his narrow escape. Can it be because he realized that there is no turning back? Oh god. For now he realizes what his escape really means. Why?
He'll never really understand how it happened, but at last he knows where the creaky mummy case led to, and why the living mummy was so anxious to help a frightened strange like Oh, he's building the pyramids.
Except that the pyramids were not built with slave labor.
Nope.
No.
They thought it was back then, though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure the general knowledge on the matter came from like Ripley's Believe It or Not and stuff at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how could they not have built it with anything but slave labor? Everything big that we built, we had to basically use slaves for.
I mean, reading the Bible is historical fact.
Do keep in mind that the very next comic in this franchise introduces J. Jonah Jameson, so this was the level of what we were dealing with.
Yeah.
So, our next ad here is the famous pocket gym.
Hip pocket gym.
Be a powerhouse of muscles. Fear no one in just 30 days. Build a body of steel.
And then some ad wanting boys.
Become a supervillain. Oh, yeah, so the boys wanted to sell grit. It's fun, isn't it?
What? Fellow.
Hello, 911?
What?
Oh,
It's literally boys selling something. It
Yeah.
wants men. It wants young men for some purpose.
I'll say.
What the fuck is grit?
Are you a boy?
30,000
It's some
boys
sort
selling
of
each week now. It's
newspaper,
fun. It's
apparently.
easy. 30,000 boys selling each week now. It's fun. It's easy.
The ad copy promises to make a man out of you.
Yes sir, not. Yes sir, I'll make a man out of you. You must sell grit by the coursing river and go on selling in a great typhoon.
So yes, that was the last story. We do have a letters page because this, unlike some of the comics we'll look at, this is the facsimile edition. But an important announcement from the editor, and my throat is sore now, so I'm not doing the Stan Lee voice, but you will notice that the format of Amazing has been changed. There are a number of reasons for this, and we want to take you, our valued reader, into our confidence. We hate to throw in the towel, but we find that it's simply impossible to produce a magazine like Amazing each and every month, containing 5 highly original and carefully plotted stories without the quality eventually beginning to suffer. God, that was a run-on sentence. Rather than risk losing your confidence, we've decided to change Amazing in such a way that it will still present the finest in fantasy, but in a different way. There, it got canceled. As you can see, we are introducing one of the most unusual new fantasy characters of all time, the Spider-Man! Who will appear in every month in Amazing. I laugh because it's not just all caps and not just the, but there's no hyphen. It's Spider-Man. The Spider-Man.
Support your local Spider-Man.
Perhaps if your letter is requested, we will make his stories even longer, or 2 Spider-Man stories per issue.
2 Spider-Man stories. Finally, we are omitting the word adult from our masthead.
Yes. A number of our teenage readers have written to say that it makes them feel a bit awkward to buy a magazine, which seems to be written exclusively for older readers.
Oh.
There's like Pam from The Office. We never expected such a reaction, you moron. But we certainly don't want to embarrass any of our loyal readers.
And there you have it, our new editorial policy and the reason we have undertaken it. Naturally, we are most anxious to have your opinions and will be waiting eagerly for your letters. No, you won't. Rest assured that although it is impossible for us to answer your letters personally, yeah, we'll be. We carefully read each and every one and are guided by your desires when we edit our magazine. Yada 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 yada.
Unfortunately, we have no room in this issue for many of your interesting letters, but we want to specifically thank the following fans for. It's the Patreon support segment of the magazine.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus! I'm sure if I bothered to really read this, there's probably
one from
like
Canada.
yeah.
Not even from any town. It's just he's from
Alberta. I bet if I bothered to read these, there's probably someone who was involved in comics at some point because that happens a lot with these letter segments. But and then there was a poll for their favorite stories.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, and it's send your letters to the editor, Amazing Fantasy, 3rd floor, 655 Madison Avenue, New York, 21, New York. I believe that actually is still owned by Marvel, that address, but... All right, and the back of the comic ads.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So we're not reading all of these by any stretch of the imagination.
Stamps!
103 different British Empire 10-cent stamps from Britain's far-flung colonies.
Oh no!
Oh, 7 different beautiful Ghana commemoratives.
Big stamp jungle. Look, giant Philippine.
Oh my god! Oh. Song ideas wanted. Like, that's not how songwriting works. Don't ever do that. Don't ever give song ideas to people. Bad idea.
Hey, magic water pistol, an early repeating.
Pay 50 cents to get 1,001 things you can get for free.
Nice scam.
Yep.
40 Army, Navy, Marine insignia for $1.
Terrific triangle.
55 FDR Pope Triangle. 55 different has FDR Prime and Pope Triangle, Greenland, Angola map, Rhodesia, etc.
The automatic repeating magic water pistol.
1,000 tricks for 25 cents. Big exciting magic and fun catalog. 160 pages. Free card trick given with each catalog.
And then, of course, the hypnotizer.
Yes.
Which I thought was only a joke until it actually starts appearing in literally every single comic ever.
The Hypnocoin.
All hail the Hypnocoin.
All hail Hypnocoin.
Oh shit, there is one more story. That's what I forgot. This one's fucking amazing too.
There
There-
are Martians among us.
The problem was how to find the Martians. This is
Well,
another
they're
Dickon
small,
story.
completely black, wear a Spartan.
Cylons.
Yeah.
No, how it's easy to find Martians. They're small, completely like black, wear Spartan helmets and skirts, and have a dog that also wears a Spartan helmet and skirt, and talk in a really kind of funky voice.
Intriguing.
Are you literally describing Martians from the Martian Chronicles?
No, I was describing
Marvin.
Marvin the Martian.
Oh, yes.
The best Looney Tunes character.
Yes, Marvin the Martian.
The alien spaceship was first sighted by the shocked pilot of a commercial
It's
airliner.
not a Spartan helmet, it's like a Spartan helmet with like a mop on top. A sponge
It's a
mop on
Hoplita
top.
helmet.
It's a Legion, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And this, by the way, I love this alien spaceship. The hemorrhoid pillow.
It's a green Legion helmet, though. It's a green Legion helmet.
Let's not pick nuance over Martian the Martian.
Oh.
Alright. Seconds after the pilot radioed the news, the search party was headed for the spot when the ship had been seen to... Boy, I spelled that. Seconds after the pilot radioed the news, a search party was headed to the spot where the ship had been seen to land. That's honestly a weirdly written sentence. So.
Yeah, it is. The ship is empty. The crew must have fled. We don't know who they are, what they are. They could be anywhere.
Oh God, let me see if I can do a newscaster voice. The ship is believed to have been from the planet Mars. Because its occupants have chosen to flee and hide, we must assume that they are hostile. All citizens in the area are urged to stay indoors and keep their homes locked until the Martians can be found.
All citizens are urged to practice social distancing until we find the Martians.
For long, tense days, the search goes on, with no trace of the unknown aliens.
How can we find them when we don't even know what we're looking for? Great observation. But we must keep searching. Sooner or later, we're bound to find someone unearthly.
Unearthly.
I have questions.
All I have is.
The 20th Century Fox.
Look, either you'll recognize this opening.
Oh my god. Is this what I think it is?
Plan 9?
No. Not Plan 9. Come on.
What?
The Thing? I don't know.
No.
What?
The Day the Earth Stood
I've never seen that movie.
Still.
I think
The
I haven't seen
original.
that for a while.
I've seen it once when
It's
I was like a
fucking
little
weird,
kid.
if I remember correctly.
It is. I've seen it once when I was like really little. I think we should just try and find it.
That doesn't. Also, I love how his response doesn't answer the question.
I know.
How do we know what we're looking for? We're just gonna keep searching, dog. Just
I know.
we know by the arrangement of the instrument panel that the Martians must be human-like in appearance, but there is bound to be some difference between them and natural Earthlings. We will find them. We've got to.
What about the why must they be human-like?
But there bound to be some difference. Sloping forehead.
But although the search goes on without halt, the weeks pass by slowly as the population lives in fear.
It's amazing. A month has gone by and still the search continues without success.
We've lynched a whole bunch of people, but not all of them turned out to be human.
Citizens are still urged to stay indoors. The danger from the Martians is believed to be just as great as ever.
You are also urged to distance yourselves even from the people within your home because they may become Martian, or they may become Martian at any moment.
We should just start breaking out the phrenology kits and
Right.
start getting to work.
If only you didn't have to go out, dear. I'm so afraid.
You nailed that voice.
Nonsense, dear. I'll be all right.
It's you I worry about. That was a weird way of saying you. I hate leaving you alone. Be sure to keep the door locked and don't open it for anybody.
I will, dear. Be careful. Please. That's such fun.
Remember, stay inside. I'll be home as soon as I can.
Take care, my darling.
God's trad wives.
At that very moment, the search in an ever-widening New York gets closer and closer to the city itself.
Yes.
Why?
Jim Bob and his dog and like a couple of other randos.
Right. While back at the home of our heron. Oh dear, I'm out of coffee.
That's me.
I'm sure it will be safe enough just to dash to the store for a moment.
I love her
This
eyebrows.
is-
Holy
this
shit.
panel.
Because you know we
Please
can't
go to the
have
blog
a
of this
delivery
panel out.
service.
Because, oh my god.
Because you know we can't have a delivery service. You can't just like, oh, can I have someone?
There's a lot to
deliver?
appreciate about this
Coffee.
panel right here.
God.
Her face, her giant
Can we
hands.
put it on the stream? Because I think you need to see it to believe.
I would have had to have downloaded it.
Wait,
already.
is that hand hers or?
I don't know. It's not connected to anything.
It looks like it's just coming out.
Like it looks like somebody.
Oh my God! Her fingers literally in segments.
I'm serious. I feel like somebody
segmented.
did
Like,
go
is
drew
that,
the
is that,
hand.
does she have a fucking a fucking prosthetic hand? Because that finger is
I
segmented.
swear Ditko drew this hand to cover up something else that was there, because it's the only explanation. Like, oh shit, I'm out of erasers. Or like the inker drew it or something. Like,
Jesus. The color on that face too, like
right, yeah, like it's supposed to be the mirror, the window reflection, but it doesn't work at
It
all.
comes off as Braveheart.
And plus, she looks like she's. Her expression here.
I'm sorry. I think because you can do like
did
window
something,
capture.
You hit the keyboard.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I could do window capture. I could show you how to do window capture. Just like show.
Yeah, but I also worry
We
about.
need to make this a
It'll show
reaction
my,
image. We need to make this a reaction image. You need to just snipping tool it and make it a reaction image.
My husband will be in such a bad mood if there's no coffee for his dinner when he returns. You have coffee with dinner?
Can't you
Also,
call
again,
him?
the
Can't you,
art-
doesn't he have a phone at work? Can't you call him and tell him you need a piece to pick up on his way home?
There's like people talk about like '90s artists. Where do those legs connect? Right? Holy
Legs.
What is she, an
6 feet
Imperial
long.
Walker?
Right? I mean, look at that! Look
Imperial
at
Walker?
that foot! Like,
What the hell?
right?
Is that? That's a horse foot.
Oh god, I'm gonna have nightmares.
Bojack Horse's daughter?
Yes, but yet people will tell you that Steve Ditko is the best artist Marvel ever had. Because
is
they're
so-
libertarians and they have to hold up the libertarian guy.
This is gonna give me fucking nightmares.
I
When
know.
you get that fucking foot. Oh god.
Oh.
Please, no more feet pics.
Hi, honey. What if my foot was just this long?
Right?
Right? Like, that's a fucking bird.
Yeah. Oh god.
There, that didn't take long. I'll be safely home in a moment and he won't even know I had gone out. As a what? Those footsteps behind me! No! Oh no! No! Let me go, please!
Oh my god.
As the tin can, someone who lived during the boomer era, the '60s, will have to tell me if coffee was in tin cans that look like tuna cans, because
I saw coffee come in tin cans when I was really young. But...
like, I was weirded out when I saw the pop tops for pop cans, because like that was like I didn't remember them at all, even though I was
Right.
alive when that was still around.
Right.
A short time later.
Honey, I'm home, safe and sound, just like honey, where are you?
Again, the art. Look at that fucking face.
Uh,
Lucky Dennis here.
Yeah. Where are you? My wife's not home. Looks like we can head out to the pub and get some beers with the boys out after all.
She's gone. The house is empty. It can only mean one thing. She went out.
She
She's
disobeyed
so-
me!
Oh shit. And went out. I warned her.
I warned her! Yeah, she's going to get it.
That song does not make any sense, but okay, Stan.
She disobeyed me.
Also, like, the art is broken down to the point that he doesn't even have legs. These are just like lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is blatant deadline art at this point.
Hello? Hello? I need help right away. It's my wife. I don't know what to do. She has cat ears. She's ruined
Wait, what?
everything.
You're gonna spoil that.
She's ruined everything. The bloodhounds must have got her scent. Now the Earthlings will know that she's a Martian, and that means they'll be coming after me next.
Here with 4 arms that don't fit together on a single body in any way. Like, this is literally 2
All of
pieces
them
of art slapped over each other.
My dude.
I believe this one is also a reprint, which like editorial, which was Stan. Editorial was just Stan at this point. There were like 6 guys in the office.
Stan?
We reused that story. Please, God, kill me.
Right, okay.
we had to fill pages. But don't worry, you can learn any dance fast with our last group
Like
dance.
seahorses.
No, they are.
Horses.
I'm gonna guarantee you that they were either selling dry dead seahorses or they were selling the
Sea monkeys.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also a free US stamp if you act now.
Which you can't get at the post office.
Right. Oh god.
See behind glasses, treasure chest of fun.
Throw your voice with this book.
Musical
Jiu-jitsu.
jukebox bank.
Silent dog whistle.
Surprise package.
You too can be tough with jujitsu.
Oh god.
Master jujitsu and you'll win any fight. This book gives all the grips, blocks, etc., etc., which are so effective in counterattack. Free book on how to perform strongman stunts also included.
Oh shit, you got a transistor radio kit for $6?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty
Yeah, that
cool.
one.
That's like the one thing on this page that I would actually want to get. Also the insect collecting kit.
Apply this to television screen and it appears that the glass is
Bike
cracked.
windshield.
in case you want to make it very clear you're the nerd in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Bike windshield.
The miniature secret camera. The exploding hand grenade. It's the 60s, so it was probably a real army surplus grenade. Insect collecting kit. It's like a pair of tweezers and a magnifying glass.
In a bug net. Which will come really handy when you want to capture Ganon 40 years from now.
The bike speedometer.
Yeah.
The space phone.
Atomic
Space
smoke
phone.
bomb.
Nice price.
That's 69
cents.
The atomic smoke bomb.
They can call it atomic because it forms a mushroom cloud.
Alright.
I'll build you into a new athletic, mighty muscled all-male He-Man!
And I said, 26-year-old teacher William Butler. This ad is a lot of beef in it. Whew.
Yeah.
How to gain or lose up to 50 pounds
Women
fast.
always say, I just adore ABC all-male He-Man.
There's a lot of masculinity in this that I'm not entirely sure isn't just like a mask for something.
Yeah, it's like this is not homophobia. It's kind of gay.
Yeah.
Like as in
Yeah.
closeted kids in the 60s. I just read Spider-Man for the articles. Oh god. There are so many ads in these facsimile editions.
God.
Yeah, there are.
So so if you want to laugh at this stuff. Boys,
Look,
girls,
it's
men, women!
You can make at least $50, more likely $100 to $200 in your spare times. Everyone you know needs Christmas cards, and everyone loves Wallace Brown cards.
Ah, so a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the MLM, but for the 60s.
Right.
Mhm.
Fucking
But it's
Christmas
okay
cards.
because we're selling a product.
Oh my god. Send me
I mean, Avon existed back in the 60s.
right.
All
And-
we need is all we need is just like a random weird ad for the Communist Party of the Philippines, and we'll have an example of all three of like possible acronyms of MLM in Amazing Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because we already had Men Loving
Big
Men in
Men,
the previous
yes.
ad and multi-level marketing in this one. Now we just see Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, and we'll be good to go.
Right. So, alright, that was Amazing Fantasy number 15, which is far from the weirdest comic of the 60s.
Oh, I can tell that it was very much what I thought a comic from the early 60s would look like. Like, it's still basically a 50s comic that is trying not to be.
Right. I mean, and, like, there's, like, hints at character development, somewhat.
It went really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought the entire thing was gonna be Spider.
To be fair now, some of the backup comics actually were from the 50s. Like, I haven't sourced when these were original. Like, I don't think anybody has, really, because Silver Age comics can be expensive, and a lot of people aren't into them, but
Yeah.
to catalog when these stories first appeared. But they appeared in some Martin Goodman books, probably Timely or Atlas Comics, because Marvel was just another name for the same,
Right.
for comic books published by the Martin Goodman Publishing, whatever, Monopoly?
Well.
I mean, like, it's not like he was much of anybody other than money, because he was known for trend chasing, which is a fantasy word to say. Ripping everybody else off, but...
Yeah.
And Stan was like his nephew, I believe, which is, but like, as much as we make fun of Stanley, at least there's something there. Like, there are a lot of comic companies that no one even remembers.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, even if it's, like, I am sure at the time, remember again, this was the 60s, I'm sure part of the appeal was actually how goofy it was, the camp value of it.
Right. And all of these stories, the only one that survived was...
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
And this was,
Spider-Man.
if I'm trying to get my timelines correctly, this is about the second, kind of third, but really more second superhero in Marvel's anthology books. The first was Thor, and I believe this was they came out roughly at the same time. Hank Pym, who would later become Ant-Man, had already appeared at this point, but he wasn't Ant-Man yet.
Right.
And Fantastic Four and the Incredible Hulk had their own magazines at the time. So this is This is like very early in Marvel's comics and very early in people actually being able to compete with DC. So it's like superheroes aren't really superheroes yet.
Right. They're just fantastical characters.
Yeah, because at this point, comics and as well radio is so popular as well. So
Yeah,
as
I
well
will
as
say though
non-superhero
that
characters.
because the science fiction elements are actually rather light in Spider-Man, and that's the name of the story, by the way, just Spider-Man, is it holds up better than a lot of the others.
Yeah.
Also, again, I mean, the other reason it holds up is because this is an evergreen concept.
They really should have cast Michael Cera instead of...
Oh my god, yes.
Instead, I mean, like...
I might now really, if I've seen Tom Holland and other stuff, he's trying to be Michael Cera or Jesse Eisenberg, at least in Avengers Infinity War.
My thought on that, so like, on the record, my official party line on Tom Holland is that he's a great actor who's making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah.
And that... I also think that, honestly, it's really weird to see Peter written the way he is in the cinematic universe way.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't like that from the beginning. From the beginning, he was this weird, like, flat top, iron pants, vest and tie high schooler.
Damn it.
And, like, also for the record, Peter spends about like 10 issues in high school before they're like, okay, we're moving on.
I mean, they don't even spend that long in any of the movies.
Well, right, and that's why I never understood. Like, I guess it's because of Ultimate Spider-Man and the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon series. That Spider-Man's a high schooler. No, he isn't. Like,
No, that's just to make him more relatable to kids watching the TV show.
like.
That pretty much is just to make him more relatable to kids watching the TV show.
Like, the Spider-Man I grew up on was eternally 30. You know? Like, in the comics and in the Spider-Man TV series on Fox, he's like mid-20s at best.
I mean, look at Peter V. Parker in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's perfect adaptation.
Right.
I mean, having read Dan Slott's run, yes, that is Spider-Man.
The comic was really weird because it spent more time on like random minutia that was I've seen the Raimi trilogy. I've not seen Garfield Spider-Man, and I've seen Holland Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like how the scene in Spider-Man 1 was replicated from the original comic, but they also the original comic just treats Uncle Ben's death like it was just
we didn't even see it. We were just told it happened.
And there's no relationship built up between Peter and Uncle Ben.
No.
Right, and Aunt May's not even really a character yet.
No, so it was really so we're getting this insider angle at how marginalized he is among his classmates and not his family dynamics. Which
Right.
Actually,
Well, it's not even. It's really a myth, a folklore tale. It's a folk tale, isn't it? The Spider-Man, because it's focused on exactly one character.
Mm-hmm.
He goes through these events, and then we get a moral at the end.
I mean, that's just superheroes in general.
I mean, well, actually, a lot of other superheroes, as you'll see, actually have real stories in
It's
their
a
debut.
folktale that Spider-Man himself doesn't really adhere that well to.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at his character and how it's continued to is this
It's actually a Grimm's fairy tale because he fails.
yeah.
Oh boy, this opens up a whole discussion about tales of heroes in
And
general.
it's the same thing with when he the death of his first love interest.
Right.
He fails partially because of his own hubris.
Yeah. I mean, entirely because of his own hubris if you actually read the panels.
Yeah.
I have to laugh because Spider-Man is such a goober. Oh my god. Anyways, also even though this is an attempted morality tale, so best you can do to argue is that karmic backlash killed Uncle Ben. Because normally the guy that's going to rob the studio isn't going to go and show up at the kid's house and kill his uncle. Right? This doesn't work, actually.
It's just karmic backlash for him being all not my problem. Because he's more concerned with getting his revenge on his classmates.
Jesus.
There's a reason why I used the Skeletor voice. The Skeletor / Papyrus voice.
And I mean, I know later Peter will actually become more heroic, but God, honestly, a lot of Spider-Man throughout the years has been the dragging Peter kicking and screaming into heroics.
Yeah.
I mean, good folktales about heroes, they make them relatable to our struggles in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, Spider-Man is really, the only superhero we really have.
Mm-hmm.
Hero in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
Because, even if you look at the OG
Mhm.
hero's tale, Hercules
Yes.
is born divinely, but has to struggles and suffers his entire fucking life and is only redeemed through death. And he goes through struggles that were meant to be relatable by the people at the time.
Right.
He had to fight wild animals to do something. I've had to do that. He had to clean up raw sewage. I've had to do that. He had to fight a horse. I had to do that. The tale of Hercules was as enduring as it was because people could relate to it and therefore it had an emotional connection there.
Yeah.
I had the last time I saw my uncle's family, the only bougie part of my family at all, my cousin, his son, was getting into Iron Man. And he was talking about how cool Iron Man was and how he had all the gadgets and how he wanted to be rich. And I had just played the new Spider-Man game on the PS4, which we had just gotten back. And in that game, Spider-Man gets evicted.
Yeah.
Peter literally gets evicted from his apartment.
Watch this space, because guess what happens in Amazing Spider-Man #1?
And that happens one of the games open really early in the game, and I was like, oh shit, that's relatable. That's
Oh yeah, it's really good, but it's that's not who Peter is yet by the end of the first story. He's a dick.
Oh yeah.
And Karma
He's a
punches him in the
suburban
dick,
dick, yeah.
and he cries about it in the end.
And he continues to be a libertarian incel for a good while.
Oh yeah. I'm when did he ever stop?
Not so much. He's kind of moved over now to more being the condescending liberal dude. Neoliberal. The condescending neoliberal dude. The dude who's got the globe emoji in his.
That's Tom Holland's.
That's just Dan Slott coming through the character.
Yeah, he showed me, but there's one panel he showed me where he's dunking on protesters, and he's the guy who's got the globe emoji and the EU emoji.
Oh no, if we're talking about the panel where he's condescending to Vietnam War protesters, he was still in his Randroid face.
This was Ditko.
This is a modern panel where he's condescending to modern I think online Twitter.
Oh Jesus Christ, that comic.
What?
Yeah, that was Dan Slott, and
that's again he just comes off as now that come off more condescending.
Quick story here. And if Dan Slott ever sees this, he's gonna block me on Twitter because he does that. This is Dan Slott whining about the fact that people are mean to him on Twitter because his stuff's pretty misogynist.
You're not a comics journalist if you haven't gotten blocked by this. I know 4 people.
Yeah, so now Peter Parker's just gone from being the Randroid to being the guy with the globe EU, Hong Kong. Hong Kong.
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man's current writer though is one Nick Spencer. So we're just back to libertarian Spider-Man. Nick Spencer, former. Nick Spencer, he used to work for Tucker Carlson.
That's what the globe emoji people are starting to sound like right now.
I know.
Yeah, no. I guess a part of me wants Spider-Man to be the one proletarian hero we have, because really he is the only one.
Pines for J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man.
Really, yeah.
No, Straczynski did write Spider-Man for about 4 or 5 years. It was, it was great. It was the best Spider-Man in my fandom era because he followed John Byrne, and let's not talk about John Byrne.
This is one of the reasons why we should watch Babylon 5.
Yes. Well, he did. A lot of people at the time, the main criticism was that Peter just turned into Sheridan, so...
Of course he did. Fucking course he turned into Sheridan. Then who was Sinclair?
It's been too long, I barely remember, and I don't own any collections. So
Well,
I
who was the
haven't been refreshed.
semi-divine figure that was mentoring Peter?
That was Madam Web. That was even in the show.
Oh, that would be Delenn then. That would
Right.
Be, that would be Delenn. that would be Delenn. And then who was anyone behind Madam Web?
Oh boy, that's the oh boy, once we find out that no, it wasn't just because of a radioactive fight. You became Spider-Man because of legend.
You became Spider-Man because of what?
Legend, and that we were introduced to the concept of the Spider-Verse for the first time. Hey, then Slot went on to do if we lose Spider-Man, then that's it. No, there is another. with fucking Silk. And this is still glossing over Dr. Octopus being Spider-Man for years.
What?
Oh yeah, when he and Peter Parker switched bodies, and then
Oh yeah.
we don't talk about Superior Spider-Man.
I saw you posting panels from that, and
Superior Spider-Man is fucking cursed.
Oh God, it sounds cursed.
Like that's when we switch from pumped up kicks to creep.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. I do remember when you were posting panels from that.
No.
Oh God.
I would want as appealing as the Xbox One is, I would get a PS4 just for the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Game. It's a really fun game, but it also is a really strange take on the story
Mm-hmm.
that I've never seen in a movie before, and I don't know if it's necessarily lifted from any particular comic because it's very different. And
No,
it's
I
kind
think
of
it is an
strange.
original story that they put together. Don't remember who wrote it though. Also, we are skipping a bunch of the better Spider-Man writers partly because they were already off the book by the time I started reading comics. But yeah, but also Stan Lee. I think he didn't stop writing Spider-Man until the 70s. So
There's an implied relationship between Spider-Man and Black Cat
yeah.
Yes.
in that game. That's kind of...
There's also in the comics for a long time. Like I've read, I think it was Sensational Spider-Man. I used to have.
Oh yeah, they were boning actually for a long time.
Yeah, I had Sensational Spider-Man like number 26 or 27.
That explains a lot of the things she says
Uh-huh.
in that game.
And a lot of I don't understand why it's been like every editor post Jim Shooter has been like, we have to break up Peter and Mary Jane.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh God, please! Are you going to talk about One More Day?
Oh no.
No,
That would
let's
be
not talk about One More Day.
if we looked at One More Day. No.
Oh God, no, please, God.
But yes, so that's the debut of Spider-Man.
It's...
Yeah.
And the backup stories are that was just a bonus because
those were weird.
yes.
Those were really weird.
Mm-hmm.
The one about the bells was the weirdest thing I've
Mhm.
read in a comic book for a very fucking long time.
I think the only
Bells! I can't. I
Bells
it
of
needs a
Notre
Garance keeping
Dame.
Lily voice.
The only one that really worked was I think the Mummy one, but it was just a Tales from the Crypt story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like honestly, yeah, you can see how Amazing Adventures / Amazing Adult Fantasy / Amazing Fantasy was one of the lesser of the anthology books of
Mhm.
Marvel was putting out. Yeah. No, I think that's all that we can really say on Spider-Man because there was like one character in it.
Yeah. No one really that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all she wrote.
And the art's okay. Like Steve Ditko can do some really good art. This was not.
Yeah.
This was not his day. The cover here is not Ditko, by the way. It's Jack Kirby. Ditko's cover is actually pretty terrible, so I see why Stan went, hey Jack, can you do us a cover? Didn't Steve do the cover? I need you to do a cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is actually a great cover. Don't know about the dialogue boxes of it, but yeah. So yeah, that's the first of these videos. Hope you enjoyed it, and might be back later with some games.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.